How are you guys? Welcome back to Wargaming China. And you know what this channel is about. So today, it's been far too hot today, and indeed for weeks now, for me to go in my shed and have a game. So I'm going to do another little Chinese AFV presentation. I know these little presentations aren't that popular and don't get watched, but I do know that the people who do watch them must be fanatics, because these are obscure armored cars, and I can't tell you very much. Okay, so I introduced you to the Harper Hartford armored cars last few months ago, and as I said, that was a Ford-based armored car bought by Liu Xiang in around about 1931, and manufactured, fabricated in Shanghai. Now, Liu Xiang was, as I've said before, working on his own armored formation. Now, some people call it the Chongqing armored car and tank corps. Other places you can find reference to the Liu armored force, and then there's also reference to the Sichuan armored corps. So they're all General Liu Xiang's armored cars, and perhaps they were in service with his nephew Liu Wenhui, and we know pretty much sure, because the Sichuan clique, which consisted of 5 warlords with Liu Wenhui and Liu Xiang. Well, Liu Xiang, then Liu Wenhui being the head kiddies, and the other 3 Yang Sen, Deng Zihou, and Tian Sang Yao. I think these will become names that I've already talked about. I will become familiar with you. But for the armored car corps, it is in the service of Liu Xiang. And as I said, it may have seen service under Liu Wenhui, but where it did see service was in small but regular scuffles that the Sichuan warlords would have with each other. Although this wasn't large-scale fighting, these armored cars would have seen service and combat during those situations. It was so frequent. I really do firmly believe now that the Sichuan armored corps or elements of it did serve in the Sui Yuan campaign from 33 to 36. But let's talk about this armored car. So again, there's a Pathé video on YouTube. It's called Fighting Begins Between China and Japan, and the Liu armored corps appears in this video. These 2 armored cars appear in the video. The 3rd armored car that we know as part of the Liu armored force, that'll have to be another video. Anyway, this Ford armored car appears in that footage. Fighting begins between China and Japan, and I couldn't really make much detail out from it, but from what I've read, we can be pretty sure that this armored car was made in Shanghai, and we know it was put on a Ford chassis. Now, the only images of it that I've seen are in that film, so a lot of the detail, like the turret, is in hardly any details are visible on the turret. So I whacked one on from Minerons, and it's just held on by blue tack. So in the future, if I ever see a better photo of this armored car, I'll change the turret. I believe this armored car, as I said, was made in Shanghai. And if I was to take a guess, if I was to put money on it, I would say that it was made by the Shanghai Locomotive Works. And I say that because the distance on the plates, the width of the plates, they look very similar to the width of plates we'd found on a train engine, you know. So as I said, there's a lot of conjecture there. and a lot of guesswork, but as far as they existed, yes, this is my interpretation of a very blurry imaged Ford armored car in the service of Liu Xian, which I believed at least the armor plates would have come from the Shanghai Locomotive Works and completed in Shanghai, and serving with the Sichuan Armored Car from 1932 onwards. Okay, I'm glad you like that. As I said, if you do watch these videos, especially these ones where I highlight the AFVs, you're a fanatic, so you should give me a like for doing it. I'm always after more subscribers, and there are loads more armoured cars, guys, that I've got to show you that I've built. I think I've showed you about 6 or 7 now, and there's off the top of my head there's another 8 to go. So a lot of different armoured cars in service in China, and the only way you'll ever see them is on this channel, so you better subscribe. See ya.